first, we have to get into, should the Lions trade Taylor Decker? We've been over this before just in talks about what we should do with Penei Sewell, yada, yada. But now Baltimore has lost their left tackle. So should we consider a mid-season move, or do we wait it out? Terry, your thoughts?
Trade him. I'm going to say hell to the no, because my fear is that they would improve this year and then ruin their stellar record. The Lions, once again, are in a position. They're not making the playoffs, so you may as well get the best draft pick. And as far as Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker, they're both good linemen, or will be good linemen. I want to see this play out. I would stick or keep Penei Sewell at left tackle and tell Taylor Decker, sorry, you're our right tackle, because this is the future. So I want to keep good linemen, but I don't want this team to improve so much that maybe they might win 3 or 4 games in a row, or do the stick. Terry, who still thinks they're going to win 6 in a row.
What if you're the GM of the Lions, and I'm the GM of Baltimore, and I call you, hey, Terry, listen, I just lost my left tackle. You have 2 of them. I know you're not willing to move off the generational kid you took number 7. What about Taylor Decker? His contract's very friendly. I know you take a big cap hit over the next year, but hey, you already have dead cap space. You're not going to be signing any significant free agents. We all know that you're going to reload and rebuild in the draft. How about I give you a first and a third, or maybe 2 seconds? Would you consider it mid-season? And I understand there's a cap hit to this. But
it's improving my team for the future. See, I would consider that.
See, and that's where I'm at, is if you can get a good deal from a contending team, even if they're later round picks, guys. We've seen players go 26th, 27th, heck, we can say in the second round early on, that are much better than what the Lions have drafted in the top 10. So if you believe in Brad Holmes, I think you give him the opportunity to select as many times as possible in the upcoming few drafts. And if you're able to get a haul for Taylor Decker on a team, let's be honest, Baltimore, they're 5-1. They're going to want to make the playoffs. They're not going to like the fact that they don't have a left tackle. They're going to be willing to move off of a number 1 probably and a number 4, maybe even a 3. Who knows? And I think you got to consider that if it's on the table.
I think that's a generous haul.
I don't think so.
I would not give up a first and a third for Taylor Decker.
Even given your situation.
Yeah, I just don't think he can garner that.
Well, he has a very team-friendly deal. I believe it's 3 years, $24 million. I mean, this is inexpensive for, let's agree, a top 10 left tackle in the NFL. A very good replacement in the short term. I have to really look into how that affects the Ravens salary cap if they want to move on from Ronnie Staley, let's say. I'm not sure if they can move on pretty easily. Who knows? But, I mean, this is a team that's going to want to compete this year. You don't want to waste another year of Lamar Jackson and his dynamic play. So why not go out and get a left tackle and really solidify yourself as one of the best teams in the AFC? I mean, me personally, if I believe I have a championship team, and again, I don't follow the Ravens daily, but if I'm in Baltimore and I believe this is the team that we can push for an AFC championship game, I think I'm making that move. And I'm willing to give up more than maybe what I should, given that narrative of, hey, I believe that this roster is good enough to get it done. And if they believe that, I think they should make the move.
Well, young man, you convinced me. I changed my mind, because I don't want present assets for Taylor Decker. I want future assets. And I know people say, well, why you keep looking down the road? Why do you keep looking down the road? Because the road right now is bumpy, and the road right now doesn't make sense to improve the road right now. Because all you're going to do is ruin your future.
That's the biggest thing now. And it's a little early to judge Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. And people may not like me because I criticize them. But what I'm getting at is, if you believe in Brad Holmes, and I think we can all agree, he's made competent moves you really haven't seen in years prior. So are they great moves? No, you haven't seen a great move yet. But getting 2 first-round picks for Stafford and a bridge quarterback, I thought was very good. It was very clever of him. Cool. So you trust him to draft more players. And unfortunately for him, some of his draft picks are injured, or, he has this issue with Penei Sewell. Are we going to move him back to right tackle when Decker comes back? Eliminate that problem. Eliminate it. Trade him midseason. I understand there's a huge cap hit, but let's be real, Detroit. Do you actually think you're going to go out and sign any significant free agent this year? You think you're going to garner a 5-year, $70-80 million free agent, 45-50 million guaranteed this year? No, you're not.
And
no
don't
one's
want
coming
him.
to play for
Don't
you.
want him.
And you don't want him, absolutely. You want the young kids to develop and grow. This is a team that's 2-3 years away, Terry. We both agree. I know for sure we agree on that.
Absolutely.
So what the hell are you doing trying to put out a good product within the next 6 to 8 months? It doesn't make any sense
Well,
to me.
if they try to do that, it's all PR. It's so they can stand up in front of the mic and say, hey, Lion fans, we're doing this for you. We want to win for you now. We're not going to take this laying down. But it's a stupid move to take. But, you can see the Lions do something ignorant like that. And you know what? This fan base, but yeah, see there, that's my organization. I love my Lions.
Yep.
People here are gullible.
Absolutely. I mean, I brought this up on Twitter yesterday. It's like, Ronnie Staley was announced injured. I'm like, the Lions really need to just call Baltimore and enter trade negotiations. And the herd came, Terry. Adam, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Adam, you idiot. Do you understand there's a cap hit? Why would you give away a left tackle when you... I mean, why would you draft a left tackle number 7 overall? To move him to right tackle? Are we really going to play this game, Detroit?
No.
Terry, please. I mean, you're more of a historian than I am. I like to think I am, but I mean, you've been around much longer than I have. Terry, how do you think the Lions actually garner the cachet or even the respect to even remotely try to move a number 7 overall pick, change his position year 1, year 2, and then move him back in 3 years? Does that make any sense to you?
No.
When have the Lions ever proven that they can get anything right, let alone try and mess up a quote unquote, again, generational type tackle? How?
Here's what I would do. Penei Sewell is my left tackle today, my left tackle yesterday, and my left tackle tomorrow. Because when you drafted him as a left tackle. You talked about, hey, this could be a future Hall of Fame player. He's not going to be a Hall of Fame player at right tackle. So to me, every move I make is toward the future. When I look at who's going to be my left tackle, I'm not looking at who's going to be my left tackle in 2021 or whatever this is. Who's going to be my left tackle in 2025? It's not going to be Taylor Decker.
Thank you.
It would be Penei Sewell.
And if you can get, again, I'm not sure what the market is, but you know what? Honestly, Terry, if I'm a GM and I think I have a Super Bowl winning team and I just lost my left tackle and there's nothing really available solid out there, I call Detroit and I say, you know what? I don't need a 26th, 27th overall first round pick. I don't need it. I don't need it. I've proven I can draft in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round and get good players. So I'm not going to worry about this. I'll offer Detroit a 1, or maybe I give them 2 and a 3. I don't know. But all I know is if I'm Detroit, I'm answering that phone call. And I'm taking it seriously. Yes, you're going to take a cap hit.
I will answer the phone call, but here is what I may not do the deal, because what Brad Holmes is saying, what the Lions are saying for the first time, we're going to build inside out.
In the trenches, yep.
And so you want to have that younger, talented offensive line that's going to gel. And Taylor Decker is still a very good player. And, is he going to be a jerk if he stays at right tackle? That's what you got to play into. Now, if he's going to be a fool and disrupt team chemistry, then you do get rid of his
Terry,
ass.
from what they're saying, they're not entertaining moving Decker to right tackle, even though I think that's the move. They're going to move Penei to right tackle, and it absolutely drives me nuts. I think it's totally the wrong decision. Well, I mean, I want to talk to you about that a little later, but I mean, this is my point. Who are the Detroit Lions to try and make the anomaly happen? Who? When have they ever garnered the respect? Or you look at them like you look at the Ravens, the Steelers, even the Patriots to an extent. Who are the Lions to try and fiddle and test with drafting a top tackle? And you can all consider the number 1 tackle going into the draft. He fell to you, and now you want to change his position. And then in 2-3 years' time, when you're kind of relevant, maybe you're going to move him back to left tackle. What about Taylor Decker then? I totally agree with your point of I need to think of 2-3 years from now who's on my team, not who's going to just make me better in the interim. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Now, if Taylor Decker is going to be, team first player and accept that position right tackle, which is no guarantee, then I just want to continue to build my offensive line. Because at some point, I'm going to win.
And where's the pressure on the GM and the coach? There isn't. One got a 6-year deal. I believe Brad got a 5-year deal, correct?
Yes.
The head coach has a 6-year deal. He could have losing seasons the first 3 years, and you guys will somehow sit up here and tell me that it's okay, it's coming. Give him time. Well, okay, you want to give him time? Then do me a favor. Cut bait with the guys you know that aren't going to be here when you're actually probably a decent roster. Gather up your picks. Start hitting on your picks. And maybe, just maybe, you may actually have a good football team. Because the last I checked, the Lions aren't able to put together back-to-back good drafts. Go find me the draft where the Lions took a Darwin James, then followed it up with Joey Bosa, then Justin Herbert, then Rashawn Slater and Asante Samuel Jr. in the same draft. Go find me that organization.
That has not happened.
And that's what needs to happen. And you're hoping Brad Holmes
does.
can do that. But I say give him the assets. I don't think Taylor Decker is that important to the football team, given they're going to suck this year and next year.
I think he's important from this standpoint. Then when you look a few years down the road, you can still have Decker, Ragnow, and Penei Sewell. And you assume in 3 years these guys are going to be better. I think they're decent players now. I want one of my units to be good instead of what the Lions do is, especially with the offensive line, they move positions, they move people in, they move them out, and then that chemistry never really develops. I at least want 3 of my 5 guys to be kick-ass. And I think if the Lions stick with Taylor Decker and he doesn't want to be a jerk and fight being the right tackle, because some guys will do that. I don't know what his thinking is, but if he's willing to stay here, if he's willing to play that position, then I want to say, you know what? 3 of my 5 offensive linemen are not only above average, but they're great. So I would stick with that because offensive line is very important.
And let's be real, you still need a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Until you have, tell me if I'm wrong, Terry, but last I checked, if you have a good front office, you have the head coach, and you have the quarterback, you're going to be a very good football team. You can't just have one of the 3 like they've had in years past. You had Stafford. You never had a great head coach. You never had a great organization. You still don't have a great organization. It's yet to be proven. But the point is, if you don't have 2 out of the 3, you're done. Right now, you have 0 out of 3. Your head coach is unproven. GM's unproven. Your quarterback is a bridge quarterback. And honestly, he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. But